Hi gang. So in this video, I am going to be doing a makeup look using some of my favorite makeup items. And I am going to be giving away some of these items. Definitely not the ones that I'm using on my face. Everything will be brand new. Everything will be sanitized before shipping, etc. Especially because of COVID. So let's quickly run through the list of items in the giveaway and then we'll move on to the makeup look. So the first thing up on this list is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in the original shade. This is the 10 ml tube of primer potion. I decided to add it in because it is definitely my favorite eyeshadow primer. I repurchase this all the time, so it's definitely my tried and true. Second up on the list is the Essence Never Give Up Your Daydream palette. So this is sealed at the moment, so I don't really want to open it up, but I will show you what it should look like in the inside. So I depotted mine. I like to depot things, that's why. So this is what it does look like on the inside. It doesn't really look like much, but for me, I use this all the time as an inner corner highlight to finish off an eye look. I also use it a lot as a highlighter for my cheekbones, down the bridge of my nose. These are very beautiful kind of duochrome shades. They shift colors in the light, and I absolutely love it. So let me give you a few swatches. So there we go. These are some of the swatches. They look absolutely stunning. Next up, we have a couple of palettes from a brand that I have more recently discovered, and this is the brand Neve Cosmetics. These two palettes are going to be in the giveaway. This one is the Duochrome palette, and this is the Screwsimi palette. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Anyway, let me just show you the Duochrome palette. So this one is really interesting. It's colorful. I love the blendability. I love the color payoff. I love the shades. They're just beautiful. So let me just swatch a few of these for you. So right here, you can definitely see how pretty those shades are. And if you like a little bit of color, here you've got quite a bit of color, but it's also not like neon bright in your face. And I think you could kind of mute it down depending on what you decide to pair it with. This palette is definitely gorgeous. Next up, we have the Screwsimi palette, and this is full of some dark toned eyeshadows. These are jewel toned, dark toned. They are absolutely gorgeous. Let me just show you some of the swatches. These are on my fingers, and in my opinion, these eyeshadows really blend very nicely. So there you go. Bam, 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 bam. You've got some gorgeous, deeper shades right there to deepen up your look. So I think these are a little bit more versatile. One of my favorite palettes is the Morte palette by Melt Cosmetics. At this point, it's out of stock. You can't get a hold of it unless you buy it like from a reseller or something. If I compare it with the Neve Cosmetics Screwsimi palette, you can kind of see that the color scheme is a little bit similar. You've got that dark blue, a dark green, a red, which is quite dark, and you can deepen up the shades with this shade as well. With the Morte palette, I can say that it is more pigmented, but the Screwsimi palette is a lot more blendable in my opinion. So if you are a beginner or you're not very skilled at makeup at the moment, this is a great palette to use. Definitely blends out like a dream. So the next thing on the list is a palette of 6 of my favorite Nabla pressed pigments. So these are the shades right here. Blue Velvet, Selfish, Virgin Island. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. I keep pronouncing this wrong. I keep pronouncing it Neridine, but it's not that. It's Nerid or something like that. Water Dream, and this one is Grenadine. So that's why I keep confusing the pronunciation. Anyway, these shades are absolutely stunning. If you've seen my Nabla, my favorite Nabla eyeshadows video, you would know why. If you're interested, I will leave that video down below. I do swatches of all of my Nabla shades and talk about the formulas and which are my favorites. So yeah. These are the shades right here. They are absolutely gorgeous. They really do dance in the light. The shade Water Dream is a gorgeous kind of eyeshadow topper. So if you want another eyeshadow to have that really dancing in the light kind of effect, you just put it on top of that and that's what you're going to get. So it's really stunning. And you can also use it as an inner corner highlight on your cheekbones as a very intense kind of highlight. But it's quite versatile and it's a great shade. They're my favorite shades. It was quite difficult trying to narrow it down to 6 of my favorite, but these are. Next up, we have an interesting product. This is Inglot Duraline. So this is a mixing medium that you can use with a lot of makeup products, such as gel liners. If they are a little bit dry, you can add a few drops of this and it kind of revives the gel liner. If you want a eyeshadow to be a liquid liner, take some of the shadow onto a surface, mix in a drop of the Duraline, and you can turn it into a liquid liner. You can also mix them with shadow and like pat it all over the eye to create the most intense effect that really does stay. If you really need the shadow to stay put for maybe a performance or a very special occasion, you can do a lot of things with this. I thought that instead of getting a gel liner in basic black, let's say, I thought that Duraline would be a little bit more versatile, because if you have all of these dark shades to play with, you could just mix this in and turn them into nice pigmented liquid liners for your eyes. So yeah, definitely Duraline is a very versatile and unique product. Next up, we have 3 of my favorite brushes. This is the Esom S33 brush. This is a beautiful blending brush. I use it on, I use it in every look. I use this to pack on matte shades on the outer V of the eye. I use it to blend out shades all the time. It's my favorite brush. It definitely is my favorite blending brush. I do have some other brushes from Smith Cosmetics, from Zoeva, but this is definitely my favorite that I have in my collection. So that is going to be on the list. The next one is the G27 brush. So I did consider the Zoeva 234 Luxe Smoky Shader because I also use this a lot. But I think this is a little bit more versatile because this can do what this does. And it also is stiff enough to kind of apply on the lower lash line some deepening shades. And you can use it to smoke things out. I think this is just generally a little bit more versatile than the Smoky Shader one. I really wanted to add in the Zoeva 237 Detail Shader brush, but it's not available at this point. So for me and my eyes, the 237 Zoeva Detail Shader brush, this does great things. I usually use it with shimmer eyeshadows. I spray the brush and I pack it on and it almost never fails. This brush can also do what this tiny brush does, but it does have a bigger surface area. And for my eyes, they're a little bit smaller, so sometimes I really want to get in there with very detailed patting motions, just to get the details around the corners. So yeah, I don't know. It would have been nice if I could have gotten this 237 brush, but I think this will serve whoever owns this quite well as well. Next up, we have the Smith 203 brush. Now, they do have a bigger version of this brush, but I felt like this gives you a lot more control and a lot more precision. If you just wanted to really tight line your eye, really just give it a very precise definition, you can do it with this brush. But if you also want a bigger wing, you can also use this brush. It might take a little bit more time, but I think this is more versatile than their bigger brush. Because you can do both things with this brush, I went for this one. So this is, yeah, this is my favorite liner brush. I use it all the time, especially because I have smaller eyes. I prefer a more subtle liner, something not too big, something really accurate and precise, but I can also get a bigger wing with this if I wanted to. So the last item on this list is the Kiss Blooming Lash in the style Lily. So these are false lashes. And for me, I think this is very flattering, and I think this would suit a lot of people. They also provide some glue for you. So if you don't have any sort of eyelash glue, this will have you covered. That's it for the list. Now I'm going to do my makeup with all of these items, and yeah, let's go. Okay, so this is the finished look. I tried my best to add in as many of the items in this look as I could to give you a little bit of an idea of how they perform. So yeah, that is it. I actually really like this look. It's kind of fun. So I did use the Duraline with the blue velvet shade to kind of tie the blue together. So yeah, that's it from me, and ciao for now.